My first question is, why has the rescue of María Corina Machado been considered risky, Mr. Stern?
It was considered risky because she's being actively pursued and hunted by the
Dice que
Maduro
esta
regime.
operación fue considerada.
Oh, sorry.
Hold on, I'm sorry. It's okay. You don't have to translate this. I know there's a translator. I just heard her. Hi, good afternoon to everybody. I am the translator for MTN 24, so it's okay. We can translate over here. Thank you.
Great. Do you need me to repeat the answer? I think.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Yeah. Maria has been actively pursued and being hunted by the Maduro regime for a very long time. Over the years they've assaulted her and all kinds of things. So she's been in hiding for a very long time. She's not allowed to travel. She's considered an enemy of the state by the Maduro regime. So the threat to her is extreme. She is the most wanted. You know, from the Maduro perspective, she's like Osama bin Laden. She's the most wanted person in the country, and they want her.
Thank you. Next question from Vladimir Kislinger. How close did the rescue team come to being detected by Venezuelan security or intelligence forces?
I think that we were at risk of detection at all times. I think there's no way for me to know definitively, but that was our concern the entire time. So we were worried about detection. We were worried about response. We were worried about Venezuelan F-16s coming to blow us up. So we were worried about detection on land, sea, and air, frankly. So I think,
Sí.
you know, to what extent, I have no idea, but I can tell you that we were not detected, because if we were, they would have certainly killed us all. So I feel very confident in saying that we operated undetected.
Thank you. What message do you think this operation sends to authoritarian regimes that target political descendants? And what did Maria Corina Machado say or do in the moments immediately after realizing she was safe?
When I picked her up and put her on the boat, she was excited. She was very happy. I was soaking wet. She was soaking wet. And she was just took a deep breath.
¿No? Acá en este.
Took a deep breath.
I'm just gonna please ask if you can please mute yourself, D Newsroom. I see that you have a question. I will get to it.
And what was the what messages sent to authoritarian dictators? I think the message here is, we're not political. Grable Rescue is not political at all. This is about right and wrong, and the Maduro regime is a threat to the United States of America, and the values and the objectives and the goals of Maria. Pardon me 1 second. Pardon me, excuse me. Oh. Yep. Yep, I'm on the other line. I'm gonna have to call you back. I'll talk to the CEO. That's good. Thank you. Sorry, I'm back. What I was saying is the message that this sends to dictators around the world is that well, the first thing it should say is don't mess with American veterans, because we will do what needs to be done for the right reasons. My team and I are really nice guys. We're really nice people, but we're also really creative. We're audacious and we're tenacious. which are hallmarks of the American fighting spirit. If you are a friend of the United States and you're in trouble, just like if you're an American citizen and you're in trouble, people like us will come for you. And if that means that we have to put our lives at risk, so be it. If that means that we have to put anything at risk, so be it. What Maria fights for is the same exact thing that I fought for in the Army. The same values that we hold true in the United States, which is not political. That has nothing to do with politics at all. That has to do with morals and ethics and character and integrity. The things that she fights for are the same values that I fought for so many years, in and out of uniform. So the message that this should send, Grable Rescue, my team and I have fought the Russians and won. We fought Hezbollah and won. We fought the cartels and won. We fought the gangs in Haiti and won. We fought Hamas and won. We fought the RSF in Sudan and won. These brutal dictators are able to function using oppression, using hate, using fear, using their power for bad, if you will, right? We use our power for good. And that should be the message to, that's what I would tell Nicolas Maduro, who now knows my name, which is really funny, is I would tell Nicolas Maduro that I don't wish him ill or harm. I just want him to leave. Let Venezuela to the people. He's done enough. He's made enough money. Time to go. And I hope to God, for his family's sake, that he listens, because what I know is that if he pushes too hard, well then, tough men in the middle of the night might remind him of American strength.
Question from Robert Macedonio, please.
Hello, good afternoon. This is Roberto from NTN24 USA Bureau. So I would like to ask, was there any collaboration from any police officer, from any soldier in Venezuela who facilitated Maria Corina's departure during the ground period of this plan? Thank you.
Yeah, number one, no. But if there were, the answer is still no. We don't disclose how we do things. We don't disclose our tactics. We'll share some generalities, but I wouldn't disclose who exactly helped or anything. What I will say is there's some reporting that the regime helped. Diosdado Cabello came out and said that they knew the whole time and they helped. That's the same Diosdado Cabello that last week said she was already in Europe. So Diosdado Cabello struggles with the truth a little bit. That's not exactly his strong area. My guess is that he's a little embarrassed and he has to answer a little bit because this is all over TV and had to say something out of embarrassment, if I had to guess. So did the Maduro regime help or look the other way or were complicit in any way? Absolutely not. We were scared to death of them, and anyone near them or friends with them, we assessed as a threat.
Question from Tora Hayland.
Hi, my name is Tora Holland. I'm from the Norwegian Public Broadcaster. I'm wondering if you can describe the moment when both you and Mrs. Machado realized that you had brought her to safety on that boat.
Great question. So very important to understand. These in general, these operations have three components: an infill, meaning on our way to the target. What we call jackpot, which is when we get the target, and that's what we say on the radio and in communication channels. We say jackpot, 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 golden dynamite. We always say jackpot 3 times, and then the objective name of who we're trying to get. And at that moment, people that are reading that in America or wherever always want to clap hands and cheer and say yay because we've secured our target. The problem is we still have to get home. And very often the way home is where everything goes wrong. And that's where bad things happen. So while when I was the one that transmitted jackpot, 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 golden dynamite, I know people started sending thumbs up emojis and stuff on my team. And I was quick to say, calm down, because we still have to get home. And now this has gotten very real. So, what was the feeling like when we first got her? My blood pressure went up, not down. We got more nervous, not less nervous. My blood pressure finally went down when I saw her in Norway hugging her daughter. That's when I took a deep breath.
Thank you.
Thank you. Question from D Newsroom.
Hi, Brian. How are you doing? We are live from to all Latin America. I just wanted to know what was the hardest part of this journey, maybe a moment when you thought, this is not going to happen, we're not going to make it. Was there a time like this for you and your team?
No. We had bumps in the road because there's always bumps in the road. That's how these things are. It's not Uber. So there's normal bumps in the road that we expect for and plan for and think about, and before they happen and when they happen. This is why I lead most of the missions, is because in the middle of the operation, we very often have to adjust things because we're not making brownies. This is tough stuff. But this was not going to be the mission that we don't succeed. This was not going to be it. This was not going to be that. So we had moments where we had some doubts, because that's normal. That always happens. But those doubts never got to a place where we were going to stop. Even if we had to keep going for another 2 days, we wouldn't stop.
Thank you. Question from Angel Hernandez.
This is Angel Hernandez from Millennium, Mexico City. I had two questions. The first one, if at any time did you have any kind of encounter with Venezuelan authorities, soldiers, I don't know, during the extraction? And if there's any chance we can know who funded the operation, I mean, who paid for it? Did the US government had anything to do with it? And that's it.
The funding was privately funded, not through the government, not through the any government of any kind at any aspect. The funding was entirely private. Did we have interactions with Venezuelan soldiers? I'm not going to get into that. That's ground stuff, and we don't talk about that. What was your other question? I'm sorry.
The last one, if the U.S. authorities or the U.S. government had anything to do with the extraction or contact with you during the extraction.
We maintain an excellent relationship with the United States government, particularly the diplomatic corps, the military, and the intelligence community. That's standard procedure for us. My team and I come from that world. My board comes from that world. All my leadership comes from that world. I come from that world. So as a matter of course, when we do these operations, just as a matter of routine practice, we often deconflict with who we think is appropriate. This is interesting. This is interesting because one of the people, normally when we do these operations, there's the good guys and the bad guys, generally. And we're usually not afraid of the good guys, and we're often very afraid of the bad guys. In this case, because the U.S. military is conducting operations in this part of the world, I was deeply concerned about being targeted by the U.S. military. We are, two boats at sea off the coast of Venezuela in the dark of night are doing something, and the eye in the sky sees this. That could be misperceived as something nefarious. That could be misunderstood to be something. And in this part of the world, things fall from the sky on top of boats pretty often, and pretty successfully. So I didn't want to be a victim of that. I certainly didn't want Maria to be a victim of that. So we communicated in such a way where the U.S. government, the U.S. military knew that we were doing something in the region. They did not know the details of it. They knew where we would be operating, where some of our rally points were, and then at the very highest levels and at the very last minutes did we disclose what the objective was. Most people that we coordinated with and collaborated with thought that we were getting an American from Venezuela out, which is what Grable Rescue does all the time. We didn't tell them that. To be clear, we didn't say that, but that's what they deduced. And we knew that they deduced that and didn't correct them.
Thank you. Question from VGTV. Would you like to ask your question?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, just a second. Yeah, I would like to ask if you're going to assist Machado with getting back to Venezuela and how you assess the risks of such an operation.
We have not been asked to do that. I told Maria that she shouldn't go back because the world needs her. I'd rather her out and safe in opposed to in danger again. But she's a lot like me, I think, or I'm a lot like her, I should say. I like to lead my men from the front, my men and women. I like to be with them. I don't want to be a spectator. I don't want to watch my men and women suffer while I sit in an air-conditioned office. That's not what I'm about. I would speculate that's exactly why Maria wants to go back, is because she feels that as a leader of her people, she needs to be with her people, por la gente, for the people. So I think I would beg her not to go. I did suggest that she didn't go back. I'm pretty sure she's not going to listen to me though.
Tampa Bay 28, Annette Gutierrez.
There, we've done a lot of stories. I know you're local to Tampa, and you've been known for a lot of your missions, but this is a really big spotlight on your organization. Do you have any fear on what this could mean moving forward in other operations as you work to save Americans? Because I know you're on standby to help rescue others in Venezuela. Are you worried about this spotlight?
Yes, we're very concerned. The cartels are very real. The cartels are in Tampa, and I hope we're a humanitarian organization. We're not assassins. We're not, we save lives. We're the fire department, not the police department, if that makes sense. So we're not a threat to the cartels. We're not a threat to anybody, to be clear. We're a life-saving organization. So I think the cartels would perceive us as such because it's very obvious. Probably the regime is a little embarrassed and irritated, but I don't think that they're so irritated and so embarrassed that they'll come and kill me. But that said, if they elect to do that, I hope they send a lot of guys because I'm ready.
I have one more follow-up if it's okay. I know you kind of spoke to the fact that this has been a difficult mission, but can you kind of just speak to why being in the water for so long makes you kind of a vulnerable target? Like, what are some of the challenges on top of everything you've already kind of mentioned? What are the challenges that poses for you guys?
The maritime domain, anything on the water is hard. It's the most unforgiving operating environment that we work in. If I'm doing an exfil or doing an operation on land, and I blow a tire on a pothole, I can stop. I can steal a car. I can change the tire. I can walk. I can go back to where I came. I have options. In the water, there are no options. If our boat would have sunk, if we would have or something and we had to abandon ship, we would have had to swim to Venezuela. That is terrible. The water was incredibly rough. The evening that this happened, we were between 5-foot and 10-foot seas in very small boats in pitch black darkness. Normally, when you're in rough waters during daylight, you could read the waves and give throttle or less to make that impact more or less. We didn't have that luxury. We couldn't see anything. We were navigating using GPS and a digital GPS and a digital map and getting beat up pretty good. I could tell you I'm a pretty tough guy. My entire body is sore from this operation still. It's days ago already. My knees hurt, my hips hurt, my back hurts. So the risk values on the water go up. At the same time, what's not on the water are lots of eyeballs who know Maria Corina Machado. We were out there by ourselves. We had a very good story. We had a very good ruse. We projected a lot of things to get people to understand things that may or may not have been true. But what wasn't there is that we were able to mitigate our number one threat, which was people being able to identify her and see her, which is precisely why we didn't go by land.
Thank you.
you so much. Rosa from Mediaset Spain.
Hi, this is Rosa Conde from Mediaset España. First of all, congratulations. Two quick questions. One, what was the hardest moment for you? And second, right now, how do you feel?
The hardest moment for me is when we started. When you start on these journeys, as a leader, as the boss, as the the jefe, these operations are emotional, if you will. There's a lot of stress and a lot of pressure, and we're embarking on an operation that may change the world. It's that level of weight. And she's also a mother who hasn't seen her children, and she's a life, and she's a good person who I know and have studied for years. So as we embarked and as we set sail, I was confident that our plan would work. We wouldn't be doing it if I wasn't confident. I felt very right in myself and felt very good about it and all those things, but you never know. You never know. Things go wrong. Things happen. People make mistakes, things that you can't even think of. A giant octopus. I mean, yeah, there are, we've done so many of these missions now where our experience tells us nothing is over until it's over. And as we start the mission, those are all the things that are going through my head. I'm not thinking about the plan A. I'm thinking about all the things that may go wrong, could go wrong, and how we would deal with them and how we would address them. How do I feel now? I feel like this is by far one of, if not the most impactful history making operations that I've ever been a part of. And I've been a part of some pretty interesting things. I truly feel that this operation will leave a mark on the world. Maria, because of who she is, leaves her mark wherever she goes. She's an inspiration to us all, no matter what your politics are, whether you like Maduro, you don't like Maduro, whether you're right or left or liberal or not, or conservative or whatever. She's a true force of nature. And that force of nature, to be able to play a small role in letting that force of nature do what it needs to do, is tremendous for me. I could stop working right now and I'd be happy. I don't know what we could do to top this one. And that's not just me, that's my team as well. All of us are kind of in awe that we were part of this real history making moment. If you think about high value individual, high threat targets that have and people that have had to be extracted, this is certainly up there. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of people in Venezuela trying to find Maria Corina Machado. Thousands.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rosa. Augusto Navarro with Apolitico. Have you been contacted by any other personality in Venezuela to be extracted previously or as a result of this operation? Augusto, feel free to follow up.
Hold on one second. Bear with me. I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
Have you been contacted by any other personality in Venezuela to be extracted previously or as a result of this operation?
We wouldn't get into any future operations. And as far as past operations, no, this is our first big one in Venezuela.
Thank you so much. RCN International Colombia. Some U.S. media says that you requested permission from the Navy in the Caribbean to cross over to Curacao. Is that true? And can you confirm if that F-18 fighter jet escorted the trip from Venezuela to Curacao?
We didn't ask permission from anyone. Any country or any element thereof. We're private sector. I don't need to ask permission. That's one of the beauties of Grable Rescue, is that we actually answer to absolutely nobody. There's nobody in my chain of command. From my perspective, as it relates to this operation, my entire chain of command is Maria's children and God, and that's it. That's all Those are the only people that I answer to. If we would have done a bad job and we all would have been killed, I would have answered to her children and to God as well. So we don't need or seek permission. We're not the government. We're not hired by the government. We're not funded by the government. I don't work for the government. The US government has never given us $1. And more importantly, they've never even given us a thank you note. So if I were government, they'd be throwing medals on us like flowers in Hawaii. We're not government. So the notion of asking permission is we don't really do that. As far as the F/A-18s go, I don't know. You have to ask the Navy about that one. I can tell you this: I didn't talk to any fighter pilots that night, so I don't know what was happening in the background.
Thank you, Bryan. Hugo Garcia, Agencia F. In the event of a possible operation against Maduro, will your organization participate as independent actors? What if the same donors who supported Corina ask them to?
I think it depends on what was being asked. Again, we're not sicarios, we're not assassins. So we're lifesavers, not life takers. So depending on what the ask was, would dictate how we would react to the request.
Thank you, Bryan. We have a question from the news.
I'm Venezuelan. I lived in Venezuela a few years ago, and there comes to my mind, how was it for you and your team to skip this alcabalas, which are sort of spots with militaries that are practically in every corner of Caracas and the rest of the country as well. So was it a challenge for you to skip this alcabalas? I really don't know the name in English, but
checkpoints.
Yeah,
checkpoints.
Yeah, these alcabalas are in practically every corner in Venezuela. Was this a challenge for you?
Of course. Every aspect of this operation every moment of this operation until I saw her in Norway, I was worried about detection. Every moment. I was more worried at sea than on land. The maritime, the sea part, I was more worried about because things can happen at sea and nobody knows. On land, there's lots of eyeballs. So that's a blessing and a curse. But I was more worried about the maritime piece. The maritime piece was, I would think, I thought more dangerous because of the operating environment. That said, the checkpoints are very real. But again, there's a very famous operation. I put it in the chat when we first started. An American named Kirilo Alexandrov. He was held by the Russians for 37 days, tortured every single day. He's the first American victim of war crimes alive since World War II. That led to the first indictment of war crimes in the history of the United States. That's our case. We did that operation. In that operation, we went through 52 Russian checkpoints, 300 miles behind enemy lines, with an escaped fugitive in the car, without a single piece of paper. So all these war zones and all these terrible places all have checkpoints. So there's good ways to deal with those. Not all checkpoints are created equal. Some are manned by punk kids. Some are manned by career intelligence officers, and understanding how and who, understanding the intelligence behind it is what it's all about.
Thank you so much. Jefferson Beltran from the show La Noche. How much does this operation cost? Tell us an anecdote about the operation. For example, how did Maria Corina manage to leave Caracas? What will she tell her grandchildren in the event?
I think as time progresses, I think Maria, it's interesting because even Maria doesn't know how this all came together. Why would she? Why would she? So even Maria probably thinks there are some things that are true that aren't. Why would she know any different? So what would she tell her grandchildren? She'll say there was this crazy night one time in December on my way on my way to go see my daughter and hug her for the first time that I hadn't seen in 2 years. And I took a very long journey and a very cold journey and very wet journey. And these lunatics came from America and got me to my daughter. And it happens to be right around the same time I got the Nobel Prize. I think that she would think about her daughter, not to minimize the Nobel Prize, no, certainly not. But when we were on the boat, she didn't talk about the Nobel Prize at all. She did talk about seeing her daughter for the first time in 2 years.
Amazing. Vlad Kisling from WFLA, on average, how much can an operation of this magnitude cost? And from your perspective, how dangerous is Nicolás Maduro's regime for the Americans?
I think his regime is extremely dangerous. I think he's the most dangerous immediate threat that we have at the moment in the United States, between narcotics, between human trafficking, between the connections to Russia, the connections to China, the connections to Iran, which are the three prime threats listed in the brand new national security strategy, I might add, in the Western Hemisphere, minutes from the continental United States, minutes from here, with the largest concentration of Hezbollah operatives outside of Lebanon live in Venezuela. The number one passport of illegals coming into America is from Venezuela. The Maduro regime has people named Tariq El-Assame and Tariq El-Saab in his cabinet who are not Latinos at all. The idea that this is on our doorstep and that Maduro has demonstrated that he's more interested in being a crime boss, like a criminal, than being a world leader and a member of the international community, and that he squarely does not care about the people of the United States. Because of that, I think he's on our doorstep. And Venezuela is a very important country with respect to natural resources. There's more oil in Venezuela than anywhere. There's gold, lithium, nickel, all kinds of things. Venezuela is a very wealthy country, but yet the people suffer. Venezuela forever, even under Chavez, even with the Chavistas, Venezuela was the first country in Latin America to have electricity in every home. It was the first country to have telephones widely used. It was the first country to have Wi-Fi, first country to have cellular coverage. Venezuela was a beautiful, 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 beautiful place. And the Maduro regime has taken that beautiful place and driven it off a cliff for money. I could understand it if it was for God or for ideology or because some sort of other thing. This is purely about dollars and cents. Like all criminals, that's all that he really cares about. It really is about dollars and cents for him. And because of that, and he's very violent and very dangerous. Incredibly violent, incredibly dangerous. So he's very violent, very dangerous on our doorstep. This all sounds very bad to me.
Follow-up question from Agencia EFE. Can you share any other information about the donors? Were there some from Venezuela? All of them were from the US?
I'm not sure. I literally haven't made it home yet, so I haven't even looked at who the donors were. But I know that they were private. I believe that they were Venezuelan Americans, who are supporters of Maria. But who they are and what they are and what they do, I'm not sure.
That's good. Rogelio with Telemundo, can you give us a timeline of the extraction operation and when did you meet Maria?
I met Maria Tuesday night in the middle of the ocean. We started Tuesday afternoon, and we were completed as the sun came up. It was still dark when we got to shore, but and it was still dark when she flew, but the sun was starting to come up as she flew the next day.
Doricera Alvarado, Univision Miami. Maria Corina said she would return to Venezuela. Will you participate in an operation to bring her back to the country?
I answered that question already. I told her not to go, but if she But I do think that she does go back.
Okay, follow-up from Apolitico. Will you participate in an operation to extract Maduro and his group and hand them over to U.S. authorities, knowing that this will result in saving the lives of 30 million people?
I would love to. I would love to. I think about it every day. But extracting him alive is hard. Killing him would probably be pretty straightforward, but extracting him alive and bringing him to justice, I think, would be very difficult.
Augusto has a follow-up question. For an operation like this, are the $50 million offered by the Trump administration to extract Maduro enough, or are those not realistic figures for something of that magnitude?
I think that's plenty. It's not a question of money. It's a question of access. Can it be done? Is the hard part. The money part can be worked out, but the ability to do it is hard.
All right, wrapping up with the news.
And we wanted to know, how do you leave that, because we heard that you lost the GPS while you were at the sea, maybe for 2-3 hours, we heard. How do you leave that struggle, I guess?
So there were 2 boats, and one boat lost their primary GPS. We had secondary, we have redundant systems, but their primary GPS, which was the good one, failed. And again, we plan on this. We're operating in the dark anyway, so it wasn't catastrophic. It clearly wasn't catastrophic because Maria is in Norway, so clearly we planned for it. But it's one of those. It happens when these operations fail. It's rarely because the missiles come for you. It's always because of something silly, like you blew a tire or something. We think about these things a lot, and we plan for the contingencies as in response.
All right.
I have a
Any
question.
additional questions?
I have a question that came in. Why did you take this mission on?
Grable Rescue took this mission on because we should and because we could. This was the right thing to do. For our charter is to rescue and evacuate Americans and allies. Maria is an ally of the United States, and she's fighting against an enemy of the United States. So not only is she an ally, but she's a warrior too. So on our side. So we were asked to do it. We would ask if we would do it, and I agreed to do it because of that. It was because it needed to get done, and we could do it.
Some say you are CIA. Is this true?